We were just talking about Silva Bay Academy there at 531, the intersection of 531 and Highway 18, but that also includes the Bay Springs RV Park, the Bay Springs Assembly of God, and then of course you have a lot of the other locations there in Bay Springs proper that are going to be, you have to make sure that you're in your safe place for this as well. That includes the Sonic, the Papa Do's Pizza there, Jasper County Extension, you've got Fajita Grill there, the Mexican restaurant, Bay Springs school systems, you've got the middle school and of course the high school there as well. So everybody, if you're in Bay Springs or just west of it, near that intersection of 531 and 18 there, you've got this line of severe weather, the tornado warnings, and of course the severe thunderstorm warnings. You want to make sure that you know where your safe place is, the centermost place of your home, and of course anything that involves windows, you want to make sure that you're away from those windows if at all possible. So of course these little notches are going to be basically the focus for the night. And now that basically means that we are at 997.2 millibars. Now basically Francine central pressure is somewhere in roughly the 990, 992 range. So basically this could very well be as low as we go for tonight. Hey guys, well the teams are warming up and so are the temperatures here at the Pete Taylor Park in Hattiesburg. We've got 2 games today and of course let's take a look at that forecast for you so you can see just how warm it's going to be. Now basically when you see that forecast, not all that bad. We've got plenty of 80s on the way. Thank you, Patrick. It is a hallmark of tropical cyclone forecasting, but that was not always the case. Continued progress has been made on the cone of uncertainty, and here's how it has been refined since its release. Hurricanes are a routine visitor in the Atlantic Basin every year. Well, this is not a trick. Like I said, there is rain in the forecast, but the rain is actually a bit of a treat for our dry state. And speaking of trick or treat, I know you get a little spook factor. Don't let the rain chances make you all spooked out, right? But we have a reason to celebrate with Halloween coming up there. Everybody say, "Hi, Alfred." Hi, Alfred. Okay, this is Cyclone Alfred, okay? Alfred is the first hurricane, at least anything of this caliber, to reach Brisbane since 1974 with Cyclone Zoe. So this is something that they don't see very often. I know here in the Gulf Coast, we're normally used to this, but you know, if you see here too, it's spinning in a clockwise fashion. So I'm gonna use some of my Dr. Strange magic here. You can see that it's spinning in the opposite direction rather than the counterclockwise storms that we're used to in the Gulf Basin. Well, happy Tuesday, Pine Belt. I hope that you're enjoying your work or school week so far. And in fact, sunset yesterday with all that smoke, I know we were talking about it yesterday. The sun was red when I could see it just before sunset yesterday. Definitely an interesting sight there. But either way, you can still see some of the haziness is still readily apparent. We don't have a very vibrant blue that shows up on the Pine Belt Honda and Pine Belt Jeep Ram camera west of Hattiesburg. Either way, haze or no haze, there's no clouds to worry about. However, we do have a light east-southeasterly to southeasterly flow across the area. You can see there the flagpole is just sort of chilling out, so some of those winds will be light at times, maybe a light breeze at others. Either way, no rain, but it is hot, that's for sure. You can see it feels like 91. A lot of folks feel like the low 90s as of now. You can see 91 appears to be a favorite all along the 98 corridor, especially as you make your way down to Mobile there. New Augusta and Beaumont at 91 and 90 for the feels like temperatures, whereas other folks off to the west, you can see Columbia there also feeling like 91. Different story for the 84 though. You can see like Jefferson Davis County, other folks in that neighboring sort of area, Covington County as well. You guys are closer to the 87 to 88 threshold, but either way, it's hot and it's humid. That much is certain. Okay, let's take a look at the surface analysis here. Now you can see that this is going to be a nice little cold front that is draped across much of the nation, basically extending roughly from the western half of the Great Lakes all the way down past the Red River Valley and into Texas. However, it's kind of a wishy-washy front, right? It's going to slowly march down and just kind of wimp out, and that's it. So it's not necessarily a factor for us, but you can definitely see that change in wind direction. Some of the stream arrows there are definitely pinpointing that change in wind direction. And of course, ahead of that front, look at all the smoke that's up there in Canada that has shifted eastward from the past day or two with all those wildfires, and some of it kind of continues to spill into the Tennessee Valley and of course the Pine Belt as well. Moving farther south into the tropics, well, that would be this weak disturbance here. You can see that now under that 2-day category, we do have a 10% chance of further development, but even then, you can see it's a 10% for both categories, which basically means that this non-tropical low, this non-tropical disturbance at that, it's not exactly expected to do a whole lot in terms of other development other than what you see here. You can see that even if it moves sort of northward and eventually northeastward along the I-95 and the Carolinian coast towards the Outer Banks, it likely will remain somewhere similar to its weak form that it already is in right now. Okay, let's talk about the Pine Belt. You can see, of course, those rivers still fairly high in McLean, however, not as bad as before, currently shy of flood stage, but either way, not too many big issues elsewhere. We are still watching the Chickasawhay as well. It is also high. For your low for tonight, that would be right around 70 before we rise back again. However, the rain chances are in the picture once again. You can see that we're going to have about a 30% chance of rain for tomorrow, where we peak right around 90 to 91. That's going to be a favorite for the next few days, but watch as those temperatures climb upward. You can see by the time we reach about Friday into Saturday, some of those mid-90s will be here in the area before we drop off once again.